Enemy MOAB incoming.
Hey guys and girls, how you all doing? It's Kirsty, or FFTK as usual, with another gameplay commentary. And before I actually go any further, I need to thank all of you lovely sexy beasts at home, just because my channel has finally reached 2,000 subscribers. And I couldn't be happier, which is the main reason why I'm actually doing this video for you guys. Because if you haven't gathered yet, it is a Q&A video. I did actually ask on a few sources last week for some people to throw some random questions at me for this video. And yes, I did have quite a few takers, both on YouTube and on Twitter. Although of course Twitter is the easiest way for me to be able to do things like this, because I can just favourite the tweet and come back to it later and know that it's going to be there, as opposed to my YouTube inbox, which tends to be filled up with spam and requests for shoutouts and requests for random networks I've never heard of, wanting to know if I want to be partnered by them or be one of their directors, all that yada yada stuff. So I just really tend to ignore my YouTube inbox a lot of the time lately. So it was easier for you guys who are part of Twitter to be able to get a hold of me. And definitely for all you guys who aren't already following me on Twitter, you really want to do that too, because I love Twitter. I spend a lot of time there. I've really developed some really good relationships with some of you subscribers who do have Twitter. And honestly, that is one of the best ways to actually get to play with me as well, because that is one of the common questions that I do get asked all the time. So anyway, guys, make sure you're following on Twitter, and let's actually get into this. What do you think? Because, of course, I'm not going to actually talk about the gameplay because, well, that is a little bit boring. I'm sure one of you guys can actually tell me how long this gun streak was. But, yeah, we're going to get into this right now. Mainly because I'm not actually watching the gameplay anymore. I do now have my little question and answer page made up in Photoshop. So let's get into that. Alright, first question we're going to be taking is from Heath, who's also known as Mr. Enraged. And the question is, who was your first subscriber? And are they still active? That's an awesome question, Heath, as I did say to you over Twitter. And I actually think I do know who this person is. And his name is Puppy, or Anthony, Tony, and you'll actually see him in my sub box. He's actually a friend of mine from well before YouTube and all of that sort of stuff. And I am pretty sure that he was my first subscriber. And yes, he is still active, judging from the comment on one of my recent videos of like, oh, ads. Yeah, you little smart ass. Anyway, his link's in my sub box. You definitely want to check him out as well. And you also, yeah, want to go check out Heath because he is another Australian commentator. Alright, our next question is from Mr. Reckless or Daryl. If you ever get massive on YouTube, would you want to move away from Australia? If so, where would you go? This is such an easy question for me to answer, Daryl, because the answer is I wouldn't move from Australia. I love my country. I've lived here my whole life. I've really got no intentions of actually moving away. I'd love to go on a holiday to some other places, like the UK, the US or Canada. They're probably my three sort of most interesting countries I'd like to go to. And of course Amsterdam, because hey, all that free legal weed, well I don't know how free it's going to be, but legal and all, that could be a really interesting thing. But that wasn't what you asked, was it? Anyway guys, definitely check him out as well. And Daryl's actually a guy who I've known for quite a long time. He was one of my very first few subscribers, and he was actually the first other commentator I ever spoke to on YouTube. Let's keep going. Let's take a question from Host Pro. He's another Australian YouTuber, which of course, link will be on the screen. How was your life growing up? And let's just say, my life growing up was incredibly boring. I had this sort of saying when I was younger that life was just pretty much about filling in the time until something else happened. And the reason for that was I'm an only child, so I've got no brothers, no sisters, and I've never actually met my father either. So I do have a pretty small family, and that pretty much consisted of my mother and my grandma and me. That was my life growing up. Like I did a lot of extracurricular activities like dancing and singing and music, and played a lot of instruments. And, you know, I had friends in my street, but when you're little, you can't really, I don't know, venture out that much further than your own street. So that's why I say that, yeah, it was pretty much just about filling in time until the next thing happened. Alright, let's go on to another question. This is from Mr. Green Goblin HD, who I'm sure you guys would all know. And the question is, why are you so cool? And gee, what can I say to that? All I can say is that I know some pretty damn cool people in real life and on YouTube, so I've really got nothing to be unhappy about, so I should be pretty chilled and, you know that I am pretty fortunate just to, yeah, have all these awesome friends and family and everything like that. And, yeah. Alright, let's go on to the next one. And this is from Matthew. And the question is, who inspired you to make YouTube videos? And honestly, there were a few people whose videos I really enjoyed, such as Hutch and Sandy Ravage. They were probably my two favourites. But no actual person actually, like, encouraged me or made me want to start this hobby. It was more so I spent a lot of time playing games. And I got to the point where I was pretty damn decent at them. Look, I must say so myself. Not to sound like a snotty little bitch. But I was finishing top of the scoreboard in most of the games I'd played, so I did want to start sharing that with other people who had, I suppose, the same sort of hobby that I do. Because in real life, I must admit, none of my friends are real big Modern Warfare 3 people. One or two of them play, but they're not really into it, if you know what I mean. So I just really wanted to share and be part of the community. And honestly, that's my advice for everyone trying to get started on YouTube. If you just want to be part of an awesome community, make some new friends, then you will have a really good time. Anyway, guys, that's all we've got for this part. Stay tuned for part 2. When this hits, I don't know, 60, 70 likes or so, I'll post part 2. Anyway, guys, love you all. Peace out.
We transform secondhand